Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie, Crypto Granny here. Hope you're all well, looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, your beautiful family, friends, beautiful animals, and other animals and people in this world just to make a better place. Now, let's look at the crypto market today. It looks very good to me. Technically, it looks excellent. Been some good news on the economic front. Producer price index came out and it was weaker than anticipated. They're expecting 3.3% and they got 2.6%, which means the FOMC will definitely, I believe, rate cut on the 17th of September. And the view is they'll probably go anything 25 basis points to 50 basis points. I believe they should go 50 basis points, but certainly the market has priced in a 91% chance that I'll go 25 basis points in a cut within the Fed's funds rate, which is a targeted cash rate of 4.25 to 4.5%. So what's important here is when the Fed does start easing rates or reducing rates, you do see consecutive rate cuts going forward. Now, Mr. Trump, as you know, has called for a 100 basis point rate cut. I think he's right. I think the US economic data is quite bad. And again, as you can see, the US is not really growing. Its GDP figures are still fairly low, and they're not producing anything for export. And I think they'll be right on that. But all eyes today are on CPI. The market's expecting 2.9% on average. Basically, below 2.9% year on year, you'll get further rally out of Bitcoin and risk assets as well. So, if they get a 2.9% or less, the market's definitely going to rally from there. There's been some pretty good news in terms of economic fundamentals are quite weak. So that's good for interest rates going lower, but that's also good for cryptocurrency. So what we've got here is market cap is 3.884 trill. This is live coin watch, according to live coin watch. Volumes are pretty large at 167 bill. Liquidity is very good at 12.508 bill. Bitcoin is up 1.51% at 114,349. We still see the likes of Strategy, MicroStrategy still buying Bitcoin. They were buying at 110,000, 111,000, and Metaplanet intends to buy more as well. Ethereum's at 4460, up 2.67. XRP back over that $3 level at 3.02, hitting resistance at 3.05 roughly. We can look at the technicals as we go forward and look at some other information as well. Binance is having a very good day. Did get through 900 today, 906, 907. It's done a very good big partnership with Franklin Templeton, which we'll talk about further. Solana is having a pretty good day. It's doing very well, Solana, and technically looks very strong, up 3.36%. We do hold Solana and Binance and XRP and Bitcoin. And ADA is at 0.88. A lot of selling on ADA. It doesn't surprise me. I don't know why it's up there, to be perfectly honest. Dodge is at 2.4692, up 2.45%. Tron's breaking through that 34.5 cents resistance. I think Tron looks very good. It could easily get to 50 cents. Link's starting to bounce quite nicely at 23.70. A lot of great stories re-linked today as well. Also, I think it's Sui that's using Link's interconnectivities and their, pricing oracle, which is another client for Link as well. Avalanche is having a terrific day. There's been talk that they're actually going to buy back $1 billion of their own coin. Okay, by basically issuing a special purpose vehicle on the stock exchange to fund for this $1 billion, which we'll talk about as well. So they're having a pretty good day. There's now some big ranges out there for Avalanche of, $50 or something like that. We do have this in our portfolio. We bought a little bit earlier, but I'm quite bullish. Avalanche, excuse me, will do quite well in the scheme of things. Also, excuse me, BCH is starting to bounce, and I like BCH very much. I think it can go a lot higher than this. Grayscale is talking about potentially bringing out an ETF for BCH and HBAR as well. That's up 2% at 23.5 cents as well. And keeping an eye on Crow and a few others as well. So let's look at the technicals. They certainly look better today than last week. And the let's just go through those. You'll have a look here. Avalanche today on the 4 hour. I'm just going to look at the 4 hour today. Avalanche, we see a lot of buying here. Okay, so all of a sudden, it's really, really, it's gone up quite a bit. It was up at one stage 8% or something like that for the day, and you see this big candle wick here of buying, hitting resistance here at 29.21 according to trading views to 28.59. But if we look at the ups, 595,000 up vis-a-vis 342 down. I'm only going to look at, as I said, at the 4 hours, which is quite telling. We look at BCH. Again, got through that line of resistance there of 588. The next line of resistance is 620. And, we're starting to get more momentum on BCH, 6.72 thousand odd on the way up. And on the way down, we're looking at probably, roughly about 4,000 on the way down. So if we look at Binance, again, they are trying to sell Binance, but I think they're stupid too. Literally this week here is a very, very telling week. And, that's quite bullish, okay, for Binance. 93,000 on the way up, and on the way down, 70,000, right? Line of support is at 896 here. According to TradingView, it's at 896 at the moment. If we go back to Live Coin Watch, it depends on which source you look at here. If we go to Live Coin Watch, it's at 897.53. So surprisingly, they're selling Binance because it is a mega naught. They're the most profitable company in terms of cryptocurrency. They have a very large holding of crypto. They are a mega naught. They literally have 75% of the crypto market, and they're still very cheap. And I'm calling Binance at, $4,500 per unit, okay? So looks very, very good to me, and I think it can go much higher than this. I mean, clearly, at $900, the seller said is the sell level from the last up week here back in August, but it looks very, very cheap to me. So does Bitcoin, by the way. I mean, Bitcoin looks very, very cheap indeed. I mean, you've got this rounding smile, as we can see, rounding smile, which always tells you something. If we look at Bitcoin here, line of support here is coming in at 113,826, and currently it's at 113,909. So all eyes are on the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which will be released will be released today, actually. And if it comes in below 2.9%, that's going to be very, very bullish for cryptocurrency, okay? Let's have a look at conflicts. We haven't looked at that for a while. We do have conflicts. And, again, it's hitting a wall at 0.1877, supports at 0.1773. It's near support at the moment. Let's have a look at Crow. They did sell it at the lofty levels up here at 38 cents. And, I think people are silly to be selling stuff that's being supported by the president of the USA, right? Clearly, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But, again, resistance here is at 0.26987. I mean, I wouldn't mind buying some Crow around 22 cents if it got there, but we just have to wait and see. Let's have a look at Ethereum here. Again, 4 hours. Ethereum's hitting resistance at 4460, support levels at 4331. We look at on the way up 25,000 on the way up, and on the way down 27,000. So we might see some pullback on that one. Let's have a look at Link. And again, every crypto is showing the same sort of profile here. I think they're worried about CPI today. It'll be out, I think, 2 o'clock American time period, something like that. But, Link looks pretty good to me. I think supports at 23.65. This thing can go a lot higher, actually. If you look at that downtrend there, it's broken the downtrend. If you've just put, a drawing on that, it's literally broken that downtrend, okay? And this thing could move much higher. It's very, very cheap. At its height, it was at $55, and they're putting more and more clients on every day, okay? Litecoin, we do hold Litecoin, being given a nice big wick of a candle here for buy. Resistance is basically 118.29. Support is coming in at 116.07. So, I'm fairly bullish Litecoin as well. I think Litecoin, has done a lot of consolidation and could really move to 132, something like that. Let's look at Pepe. Again, Pepe's held its level of 4 zeros and a 1. this thing could really break out. I'd be reluctant to sell Pepe if we put a line through that. It's basically onwards and upwards as well with a crypto rally, and you'll get that as Ethereum starts to rally as well. As I mentioned before, Pepe is the main meme coin on Ethereum, so it's almost a derivation of having Ethereum. Solano's done very well, I've got to say. There's been some great stories for Solano. We do see that, there's been a lot of buying Solano, a lot of withdrawal from the exchanges of Solano, okay? So it looks pretty good technically, I've got to say that. Let's just turn that thing off. Looks pretty good technically, very, very good indeed. And, support here is coming in at 222.51, could easily get to $233 or $230. I've seen some lofty views of Solano, probably people are calling it maybe $400, something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. It is a mega naut, and it's being supported by ETFs as well. Let's have a look at Tron. Tron's having a good day. Resistance, I should say, is coming in at 0.3496, currently at 0.3457. Up volume is 26.5 million, down volume is 27 million. Quite a lot of volume being done on that one for sure. Let's have a VeChain, being very disappointing. VeChain, we do hold a little bit of VeChain. It's certainly got the record when you look at the fundamentals. They have a lot of clients, but it just hasn't captured the imagination of the investors or the traders at this stage. And XRP, it seems to be hitting a wall around this $3 level. Anything over $3, they're selling it. So let's get rid of that, which is unfortunate. Resistance is coming in on the 4-hour at 306, okay? So on the way up, 10.64 mil. On the way down, 10.72 mil. So the technicals do look better than they did yesterday, but clearly people are starting to sell, waiting for the consumer price index, which, I think is coming out around 2 o'clock American time, which is normally the time they bring it out, okay? One interesting story I want to bring to your attention is the US Labor Department's internal watchdog has launched an investigation into how it gathers jobs and inflation data after intense White House criticism of the agency. And I think that's really interesting because some of the figures that the US are releasing, I don't believe in. They revised jobs up the other day to 1 million new jobs generated, and where do they come from? They can't answer that question. And I think there's a lot of problems with some of the data that's coming out of the new, out of the agency in terms of the revision of job figures. I mean, it just doesn't make sense when so many people are losing their jobs across the US, okay? Allegedly, the Labor Department report published on Tuesday showed the US economy had added 911,000 jobs, and yet it doesn't make sense to how they got these figures, right? And people are questioning this, right? And you've got to understand that this doesn't make sense in terms of the other internal data that we actually see coming from the US. So I thought that was interesting just to mention that. Paul Atkin says regulatory uncertainty is holding back crypto. He said that it shouldn't be about it shouldn't be difficult to raise money for blockchain, given that it's an incredible technology like Bitcoin, which is completely decentralized. For example, he was speaking at OECD. He emphasized that the time for crypto has come, signaling a significant shift in the regulatory tone toward digital assets. In other words, you've got Mr. Trump there calling for a boom in cryptocurrencies. And I think that'll be the way it'll be. I mean, how can you possibly be short crypto when you've got a president of the US basically, bullish crypto? I mean, that's a fact, right? So, let's look at the crypto news and some of the important stories that have come out just recently. This one is Hong Kong proposes easier banking rules for crypto holdings. And that's important because Hong Kong is a gateway to crypto for China, okay? It's very easy for the Chinese to open up bank accounts in Hong Kong and to basically buy and sell crypto assets, okay? So they've released a draft guide proposing softer capital requirements for banks holding certain crypto. And I think this is quite bullish for crypto, particularly in Asia. And if it makes it easier for the Chinese to buy crypto through banks or whatnot in Hong Kong, then that is quite bullish for crypto in my mind. Another story, which I think is also very bullish for crypto, is Japan aims to cut crypto taxes from a rate of 55% to 20%. And that's very, very bullish for cryptocurrency as well. I don't know when it comes in, whether it's going forward or whether it's it does a look back on this. But again, 20 going from 55% to 20% is a very, very bullish stroke for cryptocurrency indeed. Also, we did see, as I mentioned, 140 million of ADA being dumped in the market. It's beyond me why anyone holds ADA when they don't put on any clients, right? It came from a whale. Maybe he's got more to sell, but again, ADA to me just doesn't put on any clients, and I don't know how the network actually makes money, to be perfectly honest with you. And all the time I've been looking at crypto, I've never seen ADA put on any clients whatsoever. So I thought that was something to look at. But one of the big stories got Avalanche moving today, and it was up at one stage 8%, was Avalanche Foundation plans $1 billion raise for US digital asset treasury. They want to buy back Avalanche, right? And they're dealing with Hiveman Capital and Dragonfly Capital leading. Okay, so they're looking at a major boost, and these two companies are behind it, and they want to basically do an equity release on the US stock market to get that money, and then to use that money to basically buy Avalanche, right? And that's $1 billion by the looks of it. Avalanche Foundation is planning to raise $1 billion for its ecosystem by creating 2 US-based digital asset treasury companies, right? These companies are designed to purchase large amounts of Avalanche tokens at a discounted price and provide a capital boost to Avalanche Foundation. And I think this is a super story for Avalanche, right? So what they'll do is the first company, led by Hiveman Capital, seeks to raise up to $500 million through a NASDAQ listed firm. A lot of companies are starting to do this, and we're going to see this happen going forward with many more companies, okay? Crypto investor and former White House President Secretary Anthony Scaramucci, how do you pronounce that? Scaramucci is serving as an advisor to this venture. The second initiative involves a $500 million special purpose acquisition company launched by Dragonfly. The structure will allow the treasury companies to buy Avalanche tokens at a discounted price while providing the Avalanche Foundation with significant capital infusion through the US-based investment vehicles. And that's great for Avalanche, right? If we go to our AVAX here, we'll see how much they've got on issue here. But if you have a look, they want to buy back. Well, obviously they've got maximum supply of 720 mil. So, I don't know how they're going to do this. Clearly, they want to buy $1 billion, and it's not $1 billion of Avalanche, according to the maximum supply. But, clearly it's going to give a lot of support to Avalanche. And I've seen some, quotes out there just on the wire that many people are now calling Avalanche to $40 or $50. And we bought Avalanche a bit earlier. It is in our cryptocurrency investment portfolio number 7. Has underperformed since 2023. It's still down about 38%, but I'm very confident that that will be very, very bullish for Avalanche, absolutely. And it's a great initiative. And as I said, you will see more companies doing this, seeking to raise capital through an equity issue on the US stock exchange or doing a debt issue to get money from the debt holders and money from the equity holders to buy cryptocurrency. And that is mega, mega bullish. Some people are calling this next price to $50 or something. And technically, even at this level, AVAX is very, very cheap indeed. Great story, re Binance too. Binance is now partnershiping with Franklin Templeton. But another thing I want to bring to your attention is Binance has recorded its record highest stablecoin inflow through 2025. It's seen a record inflows of $6.2 billion right, in stable coins. Now, that means that if people are actually putting stable coins onto the exchange of Binance, right, leading into the FOMC meeting, which is the 17th September, it means they're waiting for the outcome of whether there's going to be an interest rate cut or not. And if there's going to be an interest rate cut, then clearly people can convert from stable coins to crypto, okay? And I think that's quite bullish, whichever way you look at it. As I mentioned, the FOMC meeting is it's the 16th September to the 17th. It's always a 2-day meeting. But, you know, that basically means that people are sitting in stablecoin, waiting to move on crypto, and that's quite bullish in my mind. Binance teams up with $1.6 trillion asset manager Franklin Templeton for crypto product push. This is huge. Franklin Templeton own assets under management of 1.6 or 1.6 trillion, okay? They've been around for about 70 odd years, and they're very well known in America. They do institutional assets under management, as well as, you know, wholesale and sophisticated clients, as well as retail, right? But they want to launch digital asset products, and they're using Binance for this, right? And this is a really big story for Binance. And, you know, Binance, I can only be bullish on Binance. We did do a buy on Binance today at 902 or 903. But, you know, again, I'm still sticking with my story. Binance should be at $4,500 dollars per unit, okay? I think it should be higher than Ethereum, okay? Investors are asking about digital assets. This is from Templeton. This is from Roger Baston, head of digital assets at Franklin Templeton. Investors are asking about digital assets, and they want to get ahead of the curve, and they want to be able to access them easily, and they want Franklin Templeton to provide the product, and they're just trying to deliver what their investors want, right? And this is a great story for Binance, and it's a very, very bullish story for Binance. Again, Binance, when this came out, you know, got up to about 907, 908, okay? Binance has a record of innovating first in crypto solutions that unlock access and opportunity for investors. Our strategic collaboration with Franklin Templeton to develop new products and initiative furthers our commitment to bridge crypto with traditional capital markets and open up greater possibilities, claimed Catherine Chen, head of VIP and institutional at Binance. And that's a terrific story for Binance. Another one also is Chainlink. We love Chainlink. It's very, very cheap at the moment, extremely cheap. DigiFT, Chainlink and UBS team up to automate tokenized fund operations in Hong Kong. And again, as I said, this is the gateway to China, Hong Kong, right? And Chainlink are there, right? DigiFT will collect investor orders through regulated smart contracts and validate the infrastructure. UBS will provide the tokenized funds and smart contracts that hold and manage the assets, right? UBS is a very big bank out of Switzerland. Chainlink will operate, execute fund operations such as issuance, redemption, and life cycle management across blockchain using its DTA framework, right? And this is a great story for Chainlink. Honestly, Chainlink should be at $55. It's too cheap, people, too cheap, right? And it's a very, very good story for Chainlink, right? Chainlink's digital transfer asset framework, that's what that stands for, will then process orders and trigger corresponding issuance, redemption, and other fund management actions on UBS tokenized funds. Also, they'll use their pricing oracles and securities for it. Also, another story about Chainlink is Chainlink DataStream enhances SCI network with real-time DeFi solutions, decentralized finance, that's what that means. And Chainlink data streams are now operational on SCI network, offering secure and reliable chain data for institutional-grade tokenization and real-time market solutions, right? And again, Chainlink is too cheap. Whichever way you cut, slice it, and dice it, it's too cheap. I mean, I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. The market doesn't listen to me, but clearly it is too cheap. Also, Chainlink Lab hosts US centers to discuss digital asset regulation at CoinDesk Policy and Regulation event. And again, it's getting their name well known out there. US Senators Cynthia Loomis and Kirsten Gillibrand participated in this discussion with Chainlink Labs. and they're focused on digital asset regulation. This is all good for crypto, okay? We've had that story there, but it's all good for crypto. Chainlink to bring more Trump admin agencies on chain with the eye on aiding elections. I mean, even election results, they could use Chainlink, okay? Certainly co-founder Sergey Nazarov of Chainlink said the partnership will build trust with the US government and could one day lead to bigger initiatives, include on-chain voting in federal elections. Wow. Which means that they're tamper-proof, right? Chainlink is expanding partnerships with US agencies to bring more government functions on-chain beyond their current Department of Commerce collaboration. The company is starting with the feeding public economic data into crypto markets, but has longer-term goals of bringing US elections onto blockchain. That's huge, right? Chainlink should be at $55, $100. It's another Solana, people, and it's cheap, cheap, cheap. Chainlink is an Oracle platform that allows smart contracts which undergo most cryptocurrency activities. It's to secure pool verified data from off-chain sources, which means external to on-chain, like from other centralized finance, and integrated across numerous blockchain. Chainlink has interoperability across different blockchains, right? The company serves up to currently compatible across 14 different blockchain ecosystems. It's a meganaut, okay? An absolute meganaut. Chainlink, again, you know, it really is. I mean, the pricing oracle has to be real. It has to be, it can't be, literally someone can't tamper with it. Absolutely not. And it's got to be able to provide, proper feeds for an economic data as well as GDP data, inflation. I mean, we had the problem with the jobless figures, right? They were misinterpreted, misquoted from last year, and a revision came out this year for last year, and yet the market had already reacted to those jobless figures last year, where they allegedly said they added, 911,000, but then they revised that they didn't add those 911,000 jobs, which was just bunkum, right? And yet the market had already moved on from there. Now, if you use Chainlink, that wouldn't actually happen, right? That's for sure. Now, also, Gemini Exchange is looking at an IPO on the US stock exchange, and they anticipate selling shares between $24 to $26. And that's important because now the NASDAQ has made an investment in Gemini of $50 million, okay? The firm initially expected to offer more than 16 million shares between 17 to 19, but clearly, there's been, obviously there's a lot of demand for their stock, so their stock's gone to 24, 26. And as I said before, a lot of crypto companies and a lot of exchanges are going to the US stock market. We could even see Binance go there. We could see Ripple go there. Ripple wants to go to the US stock market to do an IPO as well. And it's a way of getting money out of US equities and investing in crypto, which is all bullish for crypto. Galaxy Digital withdraws 920,000 Solana, worth 205 million from Binance after leading forward industry creates a 1.65 billion Solana treasury. Again, very bullish for Solana, okay? Very, very bullish. We're seeing more corporate treasuries invest in crypto, okay? Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy started this, and now a lot of corporate treasuries using their cash holdings to buy crypto. As I mentioned before, Grayscale have just done a filing with the SEC to create a Bitcoin Cash EFT, and also what else are they looking at? Hashadera as well, and Litecoin, which is very bullish. We hold all three of those, and that's very bullish for those coins, which means if you list an ETF, an exchange traded fund on the US stock exchange, means that investors can buy the ETF on the US stock exchange for Bitcoin Cash. Again, we're in Bitcoin Cash. I'm very bullish Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Hedera, HBAR, okay? Again, another bullish story for crypto. Now, also, apparently XRP ETF has been extended by the SEC. We don't know why that is. They were supposed to come out with some story about them approving it, but they didn't actually approve it. So for some reason, the SEC is dilly-dallying with this extension for XRP. I found this quite interesting, actually. Another story here is just the top crypto holders. And again, Binance is way up there. It holds way over 209 million. Is that million? Wow. No, it's got to look at this sometimes. 190 million. Wow, it holds mega amount of crypto. That's huge, right? It's right up there. Binance, and you've got the top 10 crypto holders. Binance up there at 209, 190, 433, 163. Seems very large. And Coinbase, then you've got the Bitcoin creator, Satoshi Nakamoto at number 3, BlackRock, Lidio, MicroStrategy. Yeah, this is in the millions, right? Wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's it's by the issuance level, by the market price. Okay, that makes sense, right? Fidelity, Grayscale, Upbit, and Abbott. I thought that was interesting to look at that too. But we know about the HBAR game. Yep, we know about that. So I mentioned that one. Also, Tron UQID report identifies Tron as core infrastructure for e-commerce payments across Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Great story. UQUID, a leading Web3 shopping infrastructure, has published a report on Tron and basically says Tron network is one of the best for processing, highest share of transactions across Latin America, Asia, and Africa. And that's great for Tron. Tron, again, is too cheap as well. Ledger Enterprises launched mobile app with full Tron network support. Again, SEC delays on the XRP ETF, as I mentioned. There is some rumor out there about XRP, something about basically getting something to do with, I don't know what this is true. It is only a rumor at this stage, confirming debt tokenization, that maybe the US could be looking at tokenizing its debt, but I think it's only a rumor and potentially possibly using XRP. That is just a rumor at this stage. It doesn't make a lot of sense why they'd use something. They're actually using Chainlink at the moment. And there's another rumor. Again, there's always rumors when we talk about XRP that Apple might be buying crypto and potentially XRP, but they've never bought crypto. Apple have been way against buying crypto. And, it's only a rumor. But either way, this is all bullish for crypto as far as I'm concerned. I can't be bearish this market because everything I read is just bull, bull, bull. Anyway, if you have any questions, please do come back to me. If you have any problems with the app or whatever, please come back to me. Any questions, get me on my WhatsApp, 61 414 193 424. Anyway, update is all bullish. I'm still mega bull, even though they're selling this market from its highs. The big picture is up as far as I'm concerned. Everything I read is bullish crypto. I'm even trying to see if I can buy negative stuff, but it's all very bullish to me. And the economic backdrop is creating an absolute mega bull. It's going to create a mega bull run with Fed cutting interest rates, with Mr. Trump being the king of cryptocurrency, as well as everyone investing in crypto now doing share issuance or bond or debt issuance, as well as special purpose vehicles providing money for companies like Avalanche to buy back their own crypto. I mean, it's got to be bull, bull, bull. Plus, Franklin Templeton with Binance is huge. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, please do come back to me. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.